You're something beautiful. I found you in the searching. Yeah, you were right there with me. You gave me a brand new story. It's something beautiful. Now I can breathe. My fears released. Now I am free because of you. If this is what it feels like to know you, if this is what it feels like, if this is what it feels like to know you, if this is what it feels like, then count me in, then count me in. You can count me in, yeah, you can count me in. You gave me life worth living, gave me a song worth singing. This is just the beginning of something beautiful. And now I can breathe. My fears released. Now I am free because of you. If this is what it feels like to know you, if this is what it feels like, if this is what it feels like to know you, if this is what it feels like, then count me in, then count me in. You can count me in, yeah, you can count me in. Your cross made a way for me. Oh, the mystery that heaven knows my name. My story will always be that you rescued me, and I'll never be the same. Your cross made a way for me. Oh, the mystery that heaven knows my name. My story will always be that you rescued me, and I'll never be the same. 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 Then count me in. You can count me in. Yeah, you can count me in. Count me in. If this is what it feels like to know you, if this is what it feels like, if this is what it feels like to know you, if this is what it feels like, then count me in.
When I have a crisis of faith, when I make the same mistakes, when I'm feeling far away, will your love still stay? Does it ever change? When I look at who I've become, when I see the things I've done, when I feel like I should just run, will your love still stay? Does it ever change? You call me yours, you say I'm loved, and your love's enough. I belong to you, you are for me, Jesus. You say I'm free,
That's not why you love me. That's not why you love. And you tell me that I belong. Oh, but that's not 'cause I earned it. That's just who you are. You show up when I feel lost, and you were there when I give up. Even when it's all too much, you are giving me life. You can make the darkness run. You were there when my hope's gone. I'm so thankful for your love, and I want you forever. You're my God. You stole my heart. There's nothing better, and I am yours forever. You're my God. You stole my heart. There's nothing better. You're all I want. Darkness was all I had known. Oh, before you came to save me, I was on my own. Then you gave up your only son. Oh, sacrifice to save me. I'm rescued by your love. You show up when I feel lost, and you were there when I give up. Even when it's all too much, you are giving me life. You can make the darkness run. You were there when my hope's gone. I'm so thankful for your love, and I want you forever. You're my God. You stole my heart. There's nothing better, and I am yours forever. You're my God. You stole my heart. There's nothing better. You're all I want. You're all I want. You're all I want. Your love is stronger. Your love is deeper. Your love is better. Jesus, your love goes farther. Your love's forever. There's nothing better. Jesus, your love is stronger. Your love is deeper. Your love is better. Jesus, your love goes farther. Your love's forever. There's nothing better. Jesus, and I want you forever. You're my God. You stole my heart. There's nothing better, and I am yours forever. You're my God. You stole my heart. There's nothing better, and I want you forever. You're my God. You stole my heart. There's nothing better, and I am yours forever. You're my God. You stole my heart. There's nothing better. You're all I want.
Darkness existed and we couldn't reach you. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Live at 5. Happy Monday to all of you. I am here tonight actually with two of my friends. Can they see my friends? I think they can see my friends right here. And we're hanging out, and we haven't seen each other. We haven't all three been together, actually, in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, it's been months.
It's been a long time. We've been social distancing, and we miss each other, and so we are exactly 6 feet apart, each one of us. And
a little further.
A little further than that, honestly. But we're here tonight, and we just wanted to hang out and have a conversation with all of you. And so if you have any questions, we'd love for you to comment on our live page or on our Instagram, which I'll get going in just a second, or on our Facebook. And we'd love to hear any questions you have at all. So I'm going to kick one off with these two. And some people have been talking about this, but it's, a very open conversation. A lot of people have different answers, and so I want to hear what has been your guys' go-to snacks right now. What are you snacking on during the quarantine?
You go first.
Because Joel shared his, and it was weird the other day, and so I hope he has a new snack he's moved on to. But
a new snack?
Yeah. What are you eating right now?
I'll go.
Okay.
So this is like very college, and I feel like a lot of my behaviors are doing that right now, but I basically just take chips and put shredded cheese on them. And then put them in the microwave.
Yeah.
And I
That's
just eat
like
that. And I do that like 5 times a day for some reason.
I mean, that's like a college.
You do that 5 times?
I don't know, maybe 4.
That's a lot.
It is. It's too much.
What kind of chips?
Like
tortilla
chips?
I was actually going to ask that.
The Market District Giant
What
Eagle.
shape?
Triangles.
Okay, nice.
Oh, yeah, I don't like rounds.
Okay, well, I mean, there's a big difference.
Not a rounds guy.
And then you got the, dip ones.
The scoops.
The scoops.
Yeah, that's good for salsa, not good for melting cheese on nachos.
Unless you really want, a nice, nucleus of cheese inside the scoop hole.
All right, what's yours?
So I've started, I added, a whole new thing to my morning breakfast. So I already eat 6 eggs every morning for breakfast, hard-boiled.
We're aware.
And
That's
I added...
disgusting. It smells so bad, you guys. If you have any idea of the smell of offices or his car. Also, what he's done a few times is he forgets about his eggs. And there's been some hot days where we then go out to his car. And
I thought you asked me a question.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. The smell, you guys know what it smells like, so go ahead.
They smell fine. They don't smell. And then I'm eating, plain white yogurt. And I'm putting then blackberries and strawberries and blueberries and red skin peanuts. You know what those are?
Ew.
Yeah, I know what those are.
And then honey.
Okay.
And then another layer of the same thing. And eating that.
You're excessive.
Every morning. It's really good.
What about you, Carmen?
That's weird and healthy, and the point of this is not healthy.
Oh, healthy. I mean, dude, Ruffles. I'm really into Ruffles
Chips?
potato chips
Plain?
right now.
Yeah.
I like them all. There's queso kinds. There's barbecue kinds.
Barbecue's
There's
good.
regular. The regular are amazing.
Yeah.
So for me, I have been enjoying, I already told you two this, Rice Krispie treats. I don't know why. I made 2 batches, and I've enjoyed almost the entire batch by myself. Also, cereal, chips.
What cereal?
Well, you guys already talked about this, I think. I don't know. Honestly, right now, I'm doing a healthier cereal that's an organic nut cluster type thing.
Sounds good.
I know.
An organic nut cluster? That sounds like a weird cereal. Is that from Trader Joe's?
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
actually. That's probably what
Gross.
you put on your yogurt thing.
Is it like grape nuts?
Sort of like grape nuts.
Yeah.
I don't love grape nuts.
You guys want to know something weird about my childhood?
Sure.
Yes.
I grew up eating cereal without milk on it.
Just straight.
But I
Yeah,
would
this
still
is so
but I would
weird.
still put it in a bowl and eat it with a spoon. Which makes no sense. So Cocoa Pebbles, Fruit Loops, Lucky Charms,
And you just
Frosted
eat it
Flakes.
without milk?
No milk.
Do you ever do it now?
Well, sometimes, but I just pour it into my hand and eat it out, like that.
What a
instead
savage.
of eating it
Okay, when you eat milk or have milk with your cereal, what kind of milk do you put in it?
heavy whipping cream.
Half and half.
2%.
2%. 2%.
No, so the only milk in my house is either vitamin D whole milk or almond milk. So it depends on my mood. Sometimes.
I hate almond milk.
Yeah, it's not a great texture when it mixes with certain cereals. I'll give you that. But I mean, whole milk is like, whoa, that's like, you're really going for it if you put whole milk in a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I love
did.
whole milk.
What?
I like to just drink like a glass of whole milk on like a summer day.
Are you serious?
No.
I actually think it's fine. I don't think it's that thick. A lot of people say it is. I think it's
So
great.
I
but
like
some of my
like
kids-
2% milk mainly, but I also like the fat-free milk that's really thin, like skim milk,
Ew.
because it gets really cold and it stays cold longer. So
Yeah.
it's kind of an interesting.
Okay, I have well, I do have one question. This went deep very quickly.
Ooh.
My husband commented, "What is your favorite thing about your spouse?" Which I'm going to omit from answering that. I do get to choose as the moderator what questions get answered. So, Brad, I am not going to answer that one. Moving on. This is
Brad asked that.
yeah, Brad asked that.
This is going on 3 years of Carmen refusing to answer that question
Yeah.
in different contexts, which
Yeah,
is really
and
sad and mean.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't have a good answer for that, but I'll think about it. This is one. Did Judas commit blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, and what is that? That's a question
Oh man.
on our live at 5.
That's a Joel question.
No, that's a John question.
That's a lead pastor question.
Oh my gosh. Wow, did he commit blasphemy of the Holy Spirit? No. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very deep question. They then said different tones, so I think they're kind of kidding. Oh, this is a good one. What is the most irritating thing you've learned about your spouse during quarantine? Love this question. Love it.
The most irritating thing?
Yeah, because it is, as many of you are experiencing, it's a lot of time together, right? Kids and spouses, wow, it's a lot of time. It's really great. But what's the most annoying or irritating thing? Do you guys have anything?
I mean, this is a death trap. Who goes first? You want to go first, Carmen?
No, I mean, well, sure, if you'd like me to.
Oh wow, you wouldn't say what you like about your spouse, but you'll go first for this one. All right, yeah,
Absolutely.
please, I'm interested.
I mean, mercy. There is a list of things that drive me crazy. Well, this one still stands, and I thought maybe it would change since we've been home together, but every day. We have a hamper, like many of you, I'm assuming, where you put your dirty clothes, right? So ours happens to be in our closet, which I think is appropriate place for it. And Brad puts all of his dirty clothes, he throws them, I've watched him do it, right about 2 feet from the hamper. So we have the hamper, and then 2 feet from the hamper against the wall.
Does the hamper have a lid?
Yeah, it does, but it's an easy lid. It's easy. There's
You
no.
keep it open.
Well, it's a wicker hamper, so it's
Oh,
not like that.
wicker.
Okay, it looks nice.
Reminds me of my
And so
childhood.
there's this pile of clothes about 2 feet that I have to bend down, pick up, and put into the hamper. That annoys me really bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one. I'll stop there. We can circle back. I mean, we can do this the whole time.
Not a whole lot that annoys me, except my wife is very particular about things being clean, and she's always cleaning, every day vacuuming, she'll be I'm exhausted, I need to go to bed, and then she'll just start vacuuming, so she won't rest, she just clean stuff, but then when the kids she makes piles, so she'll make piles of stuff that in my opinion are a mess, and it's why don't it's not it doesn't look clean because it's but that's how she has to organize certain things. So what annoys me is how intense she is about cleaning, but she seems to omit her own judgment of cleaning for her own piles. So I'm
Love
just
that.
well, why don't you clean up your pile if you
fair.
think that I made a mess?
Yeah.
Jenna sent me a warning. She said she's watching.
She
So,
is.
So nothing. She's perfect.
Yeah, no, there's nothing.
In every way.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of funny. If you know Jenna, she's kind of goofy. And I hear her on her conference calls with her people at work, and she, instead of saying anyways or anyhow, 100% of the time she says any Hoosers. Which I'm like, it's like not okay. Like I'll be upstairs.
Any Hoosers.
Any Hoosers, whatsers. And I'll be upstairs and I'll be like on the computer and every time I'm just like. And it's
That's
a lot because
so
you say
funny.
anyway a
No.
lot. If
Yeah,
you're, if
you
you're on
do.
the
Katie,
phone.
Katie definitely has like a conference call, work call voice that she goes into that I'm like, why are you talking like that right now? Don't talk to them like that right now. But I think I probably do too.
Another thing, quickly, and I'll end with this, is that Brad purchased, for his birthday, he got the new AirPods and the noise cancellation.
Oh, yeah, those are money.
Okay.
I mean,
Good,
if
good,
you
for,
wanna-
good for Brad.
So I have been like literally like flailing my arms, screaming at him, and he cannot hear me. And now he's telling me that he's doing it on purpose. So that's frustrating. Here's a couple good ones. This is from Amy Teal. Does the toilet paper go over or under?
Oh, boy.
Great question.
I have no answer to that because I don't use toilet paper.
Joel, I don't. That is TMI.
TMI.
We
I don't-
did
I
not
don't-
need to know
I think
that.
over.
You think over?
Yeah.
I think that's the appropriate. It's supposed to go over.
Yeah, I definitely say over, but once again, whenever Brad puts the toilet paper on the thing, he puts it under. So then I have to change it, which very frustrating.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Deep.
Another question. What hobby or long put off project did you say you were going to do during quarantine and you still haven't? Did you guys have any like a project list that you were going to fire away at?
Yeah, I haven't done anything productive or useful around the house.
Really?
Well, I hung a picture.
You did. That's good.
Pretty good. I said we have a garage, and our Jen and I both have an opener, and they got kind of like thrown off, and so you have to reset them at the same time.
Yep.
So right now hers works and mine doesn't, and I said I was going to do that, and I still haven't.
Yeah.
That would take like 5 seconds, by the way.
Yeah, you need to
But
do that.
It's only been 4 weeks, so I'll get to
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Yeah, so I changed a light bulb that's been out in my bathroom. It's been driving me crazy. Kind of same
Change a
thing.
light bulb.
It was so stupid. It's been out for like, I don't know, months. And I just decided to change it. That was a big day for me. And then we repainted our stairs. The back part, which is not the tread. What's that called? You know what I'm talking about? The backs of the stairs? The risers, yeah. And I did it basically by myself. And it was quite the project, okay? My back hurt. But they look so much better. That's the only thing I've done. I still have a Christmas wreath actually hanging on my front door.
I think the question was, what have you not gotten to?
Oh.
Let's brag about all the things you've done.
House projects.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Joel,
have a tree in the backyard that I have to cut.
Do you
all
have
the
a
way
list
down.
you're reading from?
Yeah. I have to tune up my lawnmower. That hasn't been done. I have to completely clean the garage, but I have to wait till there's a sustained amount of warm weather. Haven't done that yet. Rearranged the whole one of like the little garage, completely rearranged it. Haven't done that. A gutter fell off my house. I haven't fixed it. My driveway needs sealed again. I haven't done it.
Wow.
So these are all the things that I have not done.
Are you're gonna get to all those?
I'm starting. Some of them are like, weather
Yeah.
permitting. So
All right.
Yeah. One thing that I think is good is I have successfully potty trained my 3-year-old, which I think
Nice.
is, props to me. And we also transitioned him from a crib to a toddler bed, all during the quarantine, which
Wow.
I think has been quite the parenting feat for me.
Oh,
It's good.
So I'm impressed by that.
Well
Those
done.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm
very
impressed. I'm
much.
impressed with that too.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
impressive.
you very much. Okay, that's about all I have on the question, Brian.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, what's something new you have done for dinner during quarantine? Have you guys been cooking at all? Anything special?
I made lentil soup
Oh,
yesterday. It was pretty good, actually.
Was it?
Vegetarian. Yeah, it's like tomato based. It's
Yeah.
good.
If you've followed John much, you know he does a lot of diet fads, wouldn't you say? I mean, that's self-proclaimed.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so what is your,
That one
what's,
is not.
are you currently a vegetarian? Okay.
Nope.
Just wanted
I'm
to make
not.
sure.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not on one right now. So
Okay.
it's all good.
Katie's cooked a bunch of new stuff and it's been really good. I just can't think of it right now.
Yeah, that's great. I'm
I don't
sure
cook.
to tell her how meaningful it is.
It's really good. What did she cook the other day? So doing chicken in the Instapot, getting it really like that's like really
Instapot's money.
the
Yeah,
Instapot
that thing is a game
and the
changer.
air
fryer.
fryer
Woo!
for the kids
Never tried
Mercy.
it.
for French fries and chicken nugs
Chicken nugs.
such as that.
Yeah, totally.
You guys ever cook Indian food?
No.
Have you ever cooked
I
Indian
haven't
food?
really ventured out.
Yeah,
Have you?
I did a like a butter chicken recipe. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
good.
Have you guys done any takeout? Someone's asking our favorite takeout spot during quarantine.
I did take out yesterday North Star.
North Star. Joel loves North Star. He said yesterday, and I quote, "It is the best restaurant in Columbus." So
That's true, by the way.
you want
that's
to
a
start
fact.
an uprising, you can do that right
Objective.
now.
That's
Yeah.
an objective fact. It's undisputable or indisputable.
It is probably the most consistently good restaurant.
It has all the meals
mean,
too.
Yeah, it
Just like
Breakfast,
it's
lunch,
always
dinner,
good.
Yep.
Just always
good.
consistent.
Yeah.
I also had J. Alexander's.
Oh, nice.
That was open. That was really good.
You want to know what I learned yesterday?
What?
El Vaquero,
Yeah.
they'll
Throwback.
deliver margaritas.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So I heard about that. So that's in
That's
the
a big
works.
deal. Yeah.
Not
the
much is
works.
open. Brio was open though at Easton yesterday.
Was it?
That and North Star, and that's all I saw.
For takeout?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought pretty much everything.
We've
was.
been
wa-
doing
maybe it was
Condado,
just brunch.
of course. It's my favorite restaurant.
Carry out?
Yeah, and
See,
honestly,
I think the tacos get soggy. If
yeah.
you carry
So
'em out.
I thought that too, John, but they don't. I had one for lunch. Very impressive.
That
You
is
should do
something
that.
new that I've been making is tacos, soft tacos.
Wow, it's new.
Yeah, well, in quarantine, we haven't
Okay,
made them
okay.
that much, but like for some reason, like you make a bunch of chicken, you get the tortilla easy to throw together, and a lot of turkey burgers and regular burger, a lot of those.
Yeah, you love a good turkey.
I
burger.
love a turkey burger.
Yeah, it's not my
I've been
favorite.
just eating like 2 turkey burgers at lunch with just mustard all over them.
Ew, it's kind of weird.
With no bun?
No bun. Turkey
Yeah,
burger with mustard.
It's like a piece of turkey with mustard on it.
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
Sounds good.
That's great.
I got a question.
Okay.
What's your favorite sub place? Like sub sandwich place?
Good question.
I have a new favorite. And
Maybe
it's
well,
not
I mean,
a plug.
Firehouse?
I feel bad for Instagram
Firehouse.
because they're just staring at my face only. They can't see, but there they are. There's our friends. They're hanging out with me.
Firehouse is good.
Firehouse subs is great.
Firehouse.
Except Carmen thinks they put their subs in water.
She thinks that they put the whole sub in the water like a submarine. That's what she thinks it's named after.
No, that's not true. They actually do steam parts of their sub. So I was correct. We had to ask the manager in order to figure this out. So what, they like put the meat or something
Yeah,
and
they like
cheese.
steam the
They steam it. So essentially part of your sub goes in water.
they steam the meat.
True.
The manager said you were wrong.
No, not really, actually. He said I was mostly
That's
correct.
exactly what he said. He said
Okay.
you were wrong.
Someone asked, what is something new we've been doing during this time? Have you guys been doing anything new at all during the quarantine?
Well, I don't know like how new it is, but we've been going for like walks, which we never really do when you are at work all day and it gets dark
Yes.
out at 5 o'clock. So
That's great.
that's been nice.
I got a cool one.
German Village walk.
yeah,
Jet.
that's
Good.
awesome.
Jet, our middle child, 7, he learned to ride his bike. And so now we can all ride bikes. And that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Just Reading ride.
Yeah.
Nice.
She learned when she was 4. The first time that she started, she's just like, I can do it, and she just went and did it. Jet has not wanted to do it. He's been keeping it at a distance until he made his decision. Now it's time. So,
There we
Yeah.
go. Family bike rides.
family bike rides.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
We have 2 new bike riders in our house, too. Lyndon and Scarlett kind of just decided
learn to ride their bike.
yeah, take off. It's really fun. Bryce wants to know what our favorite quality is about him.
About Bryce?
Yeah.
I like his Deep blue eyes.
Oh, please stop it.
Oh, we're talking about
A weird
physical
thing
attributes.
about speaking of blue eyes, David calls his baby blues.
No,
It's
he
just-
calls them his blue babies.
Yeah.
His
Which is
blue
way worse.
That would be what I do. I say baby blues. Blue
That's how- I
babies.
think that's what you should call it.
It's really it's really weird, and he says that they're God's gift to the world. So that's something about David. But yeah, we're with a lot of people. A lot of people are into the Condado and some Mexican restaurants on here. That's all I got on these really good. You guys are sending in some great questions. Oh, Bellacino's has the best subs. That's what Gina says.
I don't know if I've had their sub.
Yeah. How's the hair upkeep going during quarantine? Guys, are you guys going with the mullet look? I've seen John with one.
No, I mean,
Who's this?
you can't get your hair cut.
This is Matt Robbins.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not
he
gonna
has
let-
seen me with one.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to get my hair cut for Easter weekend, but I just decided no.
Yeah, so I
not
think
okay.
a popular thing I'm seeing is wives are coming with the clippers to, give a haircut. So I'm actually going to do that tonight. It's
No,
on the list. to
It'd
do.
it'd have to get pretty bad for me to allow Jenna to do that.
Yeah,
Really?
I need the back of my neck cleaned up, but I'm gonna let it grow out. But I'm getting a lot of gray hair. I mean, I usually cut my hair shorter,
Yeah.
faster, and I have a significant swath of gray hair on the side here.
So do you not trust that you could just take a pair of clippers and just do a little bit of? It's not that hard.
No, Katie wants to do it. She says she can do it. I don't want.
I
her
don't
to.
think you could do it at all. I think you would do a terrible job, and if it happens, which I assume Brad's smarter than to let that happen, I would like photo evidence, and I want to really get in there and see what kind of fade you're doing, because I don't know if I trust it.
Yeah.
Carmen.
Katie
Totally.
cut Redding's hair
Yeah, that's
several inches off.
easier though.
And it looks
like
really
a
nice.
straight
Yeah,
cut.
straight line.
I've done that to my girl, but fading the fade like to a 1, to a 2,
Yeah.
to a 3, or whatever you guys need.
Yeah,
It-
that's
But
tough.
I
think
want
it's
to do it, so I will post a picture tonight. I'm going to do
Is
it.
he going to allow you to?
Yep. I don't know if he has a choice.
All
Just
right.
kidding. Someone from Indiana has asked who is your favorite pastor from Indiana. But you guys could guess who this is.
I don't like anyone from Indiana, even if they
Dave
were
Poe.
born there or
Steve
if they're
Poe.
still there.
Steve Poe. That's from my
Dave.
dad. Hi, Dad.
Dave Fladon.
Dave
Fladung.
Fladung.
Dave Fladung, probably, and then Mark Millen.
Mark Millen's my favorite.
Funny story, Dave Fladung now works with Mark Millen, which is just funny if anyone knows Dave Fladung. Crazy times. Okay, guys, any other questions on here? We have some friends checking in on Instagram. Yeah, favorite thing is that Bryce isn't
I got
here.
something to share.
Okay.
Um,
Are you switching gears?
well, you can throw another question in.
No,
at any time.
I don't have one right now, so go
We,
for
if you're watching and you were a part of our Easter weekend, we had pretty amazing engagement through our Good Friday service and our Sunday. About 3,500 full views of the service, which is at least those are just streams. So if that's one person per stream, then that's 3,500 people that engaged, but it's definitely more. So, probably close to 4,000 people who engaged with our Easter weekend, which is close to double what our big Easter weekends would have been up until this point. And a lot of research is coming out that the church right now, and at least engagement in the church, is growing dramatically because of the quarantine. So people find it more accessible. They're willing to take the risk. It's less of a risk to click on a link and watch a service than it is to go to a building. So a lot of curiosity, and I think that it's not just the ease, it's what's going on in the world that's driving them to something. So
Yeah.
that's really exciting
That's-
for our church. And we had over 30 people text in, I believe, which
Yeah, it's
means they
awesome.
received Christ through the live stream experience. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Kind of along those lines, someone asked what are 3 words that we would use to describe our church congregation to someone who's never heard of 514.
Beautiful, brilliant, and the best. They're the best. No. What's the question again?
What are 3 words you would use to describe your church congregation to someone who has never heard of 514?
Describe our church congregation. I would say it's a family-centered church. So lots of young families with kids in elementary school, middle school, high school, single, the nuclear family or whatever attends our church. With, for the suburbs, relatively large amounts of students, like college students, relatively large. That's a hard group for the church to engage when you're in the suburbs and when they all go to college, but relatively large, the young adult crowd. And then one thing I usually say is more 50 and older than you would think, because the assumption is that, usually your mean age for your church is the pastor's age. And so because we started 10 years ago, 30 years old, people assumed we're really, really young, had a big, influence with high school kids. So we were very young at the beginning, but some people used to ask me, like, is it all just students? And there's way more, parents that have college-age kids and older who go to our church.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's not 3 words to describe.
Like a half hour.
Ask a pastor to give 3 words. They're going to be 3 alliterated words that have loose meaning, or it's going to be 3 paragraphs.
Someone's asking again, when can we all come hang out at the building?
When?
Yeah. That's such a good question. We wish
John,
we knew
when
the
are we going to be
answer.
able to come hang out at the building, John?
By the way,
when
Joel
governor
kind of
tells us
treats
we're
John
allowed
to be like our 514 task force as far as like COVID-19. He's like, so John, tell us what the deal is with this. John really doesn't know, but
Well, I make stuff up pretty well.
yeah, and Joel believes him. He's like,
On the
yep, got it,
fly.
okay.
On the fly.
Hey,
We'll tell everyone.
he knows.
I don't know this question. Seems like it's going to go into May. After that, who knows?
What are you guys excited about with the building opening? Like specifically what to do here? It's really weird because we've been in this weird transition, right? We haven't even gathered here as like a full staff, had a staff meeting fully, like in our, so it's really strange. But what are you guys excited about?
About the building?
Yeah, about the building.
I mean, I think that the coolest thing is going to be that we actually, like, we can do whatever we want whenever we want. Like, it's kind of a behind-the-scenes thing to know this, but, when you meet in a school, you have it reserved for Sunday mornings, but then if you ever want to meet outside of that, if you ever want to hang out on a Wednesday night, if you ever want to gather people, you either have to rent the school, which means you have to get it like 3 months in advance, or you have to try to fit everybody in our tiny office on Main Street. And so, just the way that it works is that we would just kind of never do that. So to have, a space where we can do whatever we want, whenever we want, gather people, have, meetings or whatever, whenever, that's going to be, I think that's going to change a lot about our community and how we're able to come together and stuff. So I'm excited about that.
That's great.
I agree with that functionally. The hallway is so exciting. We didn't really have a hallway. We didn't have a lobby. We didn't have a place to hang out. So I'm excited for people to be able to come in here and talk to one another, get to know one another, like build community in this building. I think people are going to enjoy that. People that have been 514 church people for a long time.
Yeah, someone said they're excited to have a great area for coffee and chatting with people, which is going to be
That's
a
what
game
I'm-
changer.
that's- yeah.
That
Roosevelt
lobby is
coffee,
sweet.
though?
Roosevelt coffee.
Come on.
Roosevelt Coffee.
Shout out to Kenny.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. I'm excited for all those things, and I'm pumped about our kids' space and our student space. Holler, boom, high school night. But those areas are really amazing, and just finally like crafted by us with a child's, play and spiritual life in mind. And so I just think it's going to be amazing to have kids in there and able to really, just to be our own. We've stolen a lot of Legos, and so we're ready to not do that anymore. Have our own stuff, which is really, really cool. Someone wants to know who's with me because they can't see me. Here we go. There's Joel and there's John right there. That's who's hanging out with us.
Is that thing just pointed directly in
Yeah,
your face
it's
the whole
just my
time?
face. I bet it's too not the best angle, but you know what? That's fine. Here's a question from someone. Have you guys reached out to or heard from anyone from your past that you may not have had if we were not in the situation with coronavirus?
Yeah,
That's a great
I have.
conversation. I'd love to hear like how you guys are feeling as far as isolation versus connectedness, because technology does make us in ways feel maybe more connected than ever, but it's a different kind, right, of being connected. So what does that look like for both of you?
Yeah, the whole like social media being kind of, I just did a series right before March on how social media and that world can be so damaging, and that it is actually causing major problems for people. And it's really kind of a relative idea now. I mean, the idea was that it was such a thin, weak, sometimes unhealthy way to connect, over connection, that it was almost bad, and people starting to move away from it more. But it's all relative, because when you take all physical connection away, now it becomes a great outlet for, hey, some connection, because some connection is better than no connection. So I've had even, family members that are joining the live stream, that they don't go to church here, but now they're going to join the live stream. I've had high school friends reach out saying like, hey, we watched you. And even I've had some people reach out saying, I'm glad to see you're not gathering. I'm glad to see you're doing the live stream, because there are churches that are still gathering, and it's not safe to do that. So yeah, I have had high school friends, some family reach out just because of the situation. You guys?
Nobody like that I lost contact with that we randomly reconnected because of this, but I think that there's definitely been much more intentionality of like group Zoom calls with people from college and some people from high school, and our small group, and people from church. And so that it's one of those things where like on your day-to-day, like the grind of your life, you're not gonna usually carve out time to have a Zoom call with people that you might see some point in the next month.
Yeah.
And so I think that this situation has kind of made everybody like, I don't know when the next time I'm going to see people is going to be, and I've been in the house all day by myself or with my spouse or with my spouse and my kids. And so I think people are much more willing to put that time aside, and we don't have anywhere to be, to like connect with each other. And so that's been pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's been funny. Zoom has a feature where if multiple people are talking at once, it mutes one or the other. And so when you get on there with like 10 of your friends, it's like just constantly muted. And you sit there and you're like, when we just are like normally together, do we just all talk over each other, like yell over each other the whole time? And the answer to that question is yes.
Yeah.
You do.
You
Yes.
do. It just doesn't mute us
Certain
halfway
people
through.
do,
Yeah. So like you say something and you're not sure if anybody else heard it because you're
Yeah.
like trying to talk over people. So that's been fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt almost more connected to certain like groups of people, some of my family, which is not good. But my brother, some of my sisters, we've just been trying to do weekly Zoom calls, more because we're all spread out, and so we're not able to be together. And so that's been really cool. So yeah, I do feel somewhat connected to people. I just have a few questions, okay?
Yeah.
These are quick. Two of them are Legos or puzzles? What's your guys' choice with that?
Legos.
Puzzles.
I mean, neither, but I guess Legos.
Katie loves puzzles.
Yeah, a lot
She's
of
been
people
doing
are
puzzles.
doing puzzles, really
She's good
into
at it.
the 1,000, 2,000 piece.
Jenna's good at puzzles. I don't really have the patience. but
Yeah, this
I
is
also
a
can't build
funny
anything in
story,
Legos.
really quickly, but Monica and Jeremy Davis, some of our good friends, they have two twin 3-year-olds, which is boys, which just bless them. You can pray for them tonight because they're quarantined with them. And they were on the video yesterday talking about how they want to go to COSI. But Monica was telling us that they have this, it's a 2,000-piece puzzle, I think. And 2 times the boys have come up and just like destroyed half progress on this puzzle. Isn't that terrible?
Okay.
It's not okay.
Not okay.
Red sauce or Alfredo sauce?
Red sauce.
Mixed.
Oh, Joel, I was going to say that.
Ew, what?
Joel and I have
never had
similar
mixed?
food
Ew, that's nasty.
Oh, it's
taste.
so good.
No,
If
it's
you
like
do a little of
Fazoli's
both,
type
it's
stuff.
actually really good. Yeah, Marcella's the meatball. That's actually Alfredo and red sauce.
It is?
You're welcome. Yes.
Oh, that meatball's good.
Yeah.
No, with like the fettuccine.
You put the
know what
right-
I'm talking
I'm going to fact check that, but
about? Yeah, you can. You can go. And then another question, is the church fully decorated and furnished, ready to go?
The process to furnish the building basically got slowed way down. So we were like, we got about half the furniture, and the rest is nearby in a warehouse, and will get delivered. And we just, because we're not here, we didn't have it all show up. But yeah,
These are new
these are
chairs.
new.
These are new.
There's half of the furnishings.
We have some
all these
piles
chairs in
though
here. There's
we have
stuff.
some piles of things like over there.
There's tons of boxes and tons of stuff. The children's ministry is the most set up.
Yeah,
The offices are maybe halfway, not quite, but
we're getting there.
we just know we have plenty of time.
Yeah.
So
Okay, this is one question, and then I'll have maybe one of you close and encourage us a little bit. So someone asked, they have friends that are struggling with quarantine and church, and this community, particularly, she's talking about 514, would help them, but they're into the strand of meditation and spirituality that thinks that Jesus was an enlightened human like Buddha. I know Jesus' message would help them, but I don't know how to share it. Any tips? So any tips basically on people who are very, not open to it, but
so
how to
is
kind
the-
of go
is
about
the question
that?
how to
Yeah.
engage them
Yes.
in this time, or what to say?
Both. Answer either.
Oh,
I think
man.
it would be helpful.
On questions like that, like I just move into questions like in relationships. So, trying to understand where they're coming from and building a relationship where you can start to share meaningful pieces of information that may or may not help, but the relationship equity goes up. So I guess I would encourage that person to just make sure they don't alienate that person, make sure they listen, they ask questions, and share ideas with them, because when you start to build relationship like that, you can actually crack open some of those big misunderstandings of who Jesus is. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that if you're good friends with this person, like if you have a relationship with them, then the things that you're excited about, you would want them to know that. So
share them.
Yeah. So just to, people. I think sometimes people think that you have to be like an expert or be able to say, the words or take people down this path. But really, the thing about the thing I'm get into with my friends are the things that we both get excited about.
Yeah.
So, they care about me. Like, I have a lot of friends who don't go to church. I have a lot of friends who you wouldn't consider to be engaged in their Christian faith, but they are, excited that I work for a church and that I love what I do.
Yeah. And
even that sometimes I get up and speak in front of people is, a strange thing for them. But because they love me, they're, interested in it.
Right.
And I think that I kind of trust that relational equity is more valuable than a good argument, information, or logical progressions or anything like that. So
those things are all about placement, like where you build the argument, where you give the information, because information is like a commodity now. People can Google stuff, you can find stuff out, but relationships, the value is just so much more. It's so much more important to. You talk about someone loving you. If they love you, then they're going to be interested in what you care about, is what you're saying.
And I think, one of the things as a Christian is, you have to understand that, what you believe is weird.
Right.
Like you don't
Right.
you don't have to run from that. Like if you think like if I could only make it not strange that I believe that God became flesh and blood and died on the cross and I'm saved through that and he resurrected and he is resurrected and he's ascended to the right hand of the Father and he is reigning, like that's a weird thing to believe.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like you might as well just sell out in that and be, as confident as you can be where you are in your walk and not try to like run away from that.
Yeah.
And sometimes we make it seem like Jesus was just a good teacher
Right.
because we're scared to say what it is that we really think. And the funny thing about that is that, he wasn't really just a good teacher because, if he wasn't who he said he was a crazy person.
Right,
and you
right.
shouldn't listen to him.
Right.
So, yeah.
One of the ways that I have seen that principle of relationship be the driver behind sharing the gospel, sharing who Jesus is with my kids, because there's like a burden on parents to like, if you're in ministry, like you want to make sure your kids love Jesus but you know they need to come to it authentically. You know they need to have a genuine expression. And it was really fun. Like, so I just wait for them to ask me. Yeah. And when they ask me, like, those are great conversations. So on Good Friday, Kellen asked me, why is it Good Friday? And literally sat down and listened to the whole story of Passover and how it was a story of salvation and rescue and how Jesus' life is a picture of rescue. And he was like, whoa, cool. And then Jet came in and he heard the end and he was like, and Kellen was like, yeah, Dad, finish what you're saying, but then tell him about Moses and the Passover. He's like, he's telling me like what to say. And then like, so funny, this is just a funny story, kid story, quarantine story. So Jet just recently, like, he learned that because Adam and Eve ate the apple, that's what he says, ate the fruit, that's why there's like anything bad. So the other day, he came in and he had a headache, and he put his head down on the counter, and Katie's like, you need to drink some water, you need to eat something, it was one of the warm days, and he goes, I just really wish that Adam and Eve wouldn't eat that apple so my head wouldn't be hurting right now. It was so,
That's awesome.
And then last night he was in the shower and the dog scratched his belly. And he's like, I just really wish that Mary and Adam wouldn't have eaten that apple so my belly wouldn't hurt
Mary
right
and
now.
Adam.
And I was like,
We're
Adam and
mixing.
Eve, but yes. It's just like, they're engaging with it because they get to come to it freely.
It's great.
Yeah, it's great. Fleur said pasta appreciation.
Oh my gosh, that's a funny story.
Anyways. Okay, let's wrap this up.
Wrap it up?
Do you guys, have just any encouragement for them? What day is it in quarantine? It's been a while. 30 days, I think.
Yeah, I think it's week 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I think Jenna's been working from home for 4 weeks already.
Yeah, it's craziness. So just any encouragement that you guys have as we wrap this up.
I think that, the thing that we've kind of been saying every time we do one of these live at 5s and every time that we have our Sunday mornings, and it is the thing that Easter brings out is that, the story that we tell as Christians is a story that there is suffering, that there's so much suffering, and it's so much a part of our world that the God that we worship actually became that on the cross. He entered into it, and he experienced it, and he became it, and that's the God that we worship, is a God who's actually seen it. And then what we celebrate on Easter is that he was actually overtaken by it, but he rose from the dead and defeated it, and so he's not held by it, and he is king, and he is reigning, and he is ruling. And so one of the things about a situation like this for me is that it kind of strips away all of the things that we pretend like we have control over. We really do, if you think about our day-to-day lives, like we really do think that our job or our status or our money or our situation is going to save us. And it's like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, the coronavirus is like a little bit worse than the flu, and we just weren't prepared for it. And so many people had everything just taken away from them in weeks. Weeks. And so, you know, it isn't to try to find silver linings and to say like, oh, this is actually good. It's not. It's tragic and it's terrible, and who knows how long we're going to deal with the consequences. But it is a moment where you don't have to do the work of stripping away all the idols and the things that you think are going to give your life meaning. And you don't have to dig into that and realize, oh, these things aren't actually the things that are permanent and lovely and beautiful. It gets stripped away for you. And so you sit there, and for a lot of people, it's like, well, what am I left with? What am I still promised? And, you know, the answer is Easter. And so if this thing was going to happen, I think it's pretty amazing that it happened on Easter, and that the God that we worship is a God who actually died and then resurrected.
I don't want to steal like Katie's thunder, but she has this thing that she always talks about with death, burial, and resurrection, and how like we celebrate the death and we want to get to the resurrection, but we want to skip through the waiting. And like you can't skip through the waiting. Like Saturday happened and it's hard and you have to sit in it and you kind of have to get to the bottom of it before this glorious comeback happens. And so we're in the waiting. Like, and I do think that there's real hope, and I do think like that hope there's pieces of hope that will manifest in this thing we're going through as a world. Like, I think we will get out, and I think we will experience some of the normalcies again, and I think that's just a little like tip of the hat to like ultimate hope, that God still does these restorative kind of micro versions of hope in the world we're in. So I do think we'll get out. But like part of it is we have to be kind to ourselves, and like this is hard. This is the waiting. It is difficult. There is great loss. People are suffering tremendously. People have lost all their money, and it's not like you said, not good. It's hard. It's suffering, and God has a real answer to it. But don't, one of the pictures of Easter morning is just how early they wake up, right? Because it's the Passover. They're not allowed to go to the tomb, so they wait. They wait till the first day of the week, but they go right away because we all want to like get past this as fast, but sometimes it's not going to happen when we want it to. And I'm just trying to be patient. I'm just trying to like sit in it and almost like fully let it like become the new norm. Like this is life. And if I got to learn to trust God in this moment, because we're not promised tomorrow and we're not promised everything's going to get better all the time. So just sit in it, be in it, and ultimately one day God's going to fix it. So that's my little encouragement.
Yeah, that's great. A 6-year-old, their mom typed in that they were listening, and when I asked for encouraging words, their little 6-year-old said, "Fear not, for the Lord God is with you."
Oh, that's
so
nice.
We got a little sweetheart. Yeah, that's great.
It's true.
I love what you guys said. I think I'm offering a lot of grace to myself and just to the people around me, those who live in my house, just because I think that there's a lot of emotions and there's a lot coming at us, and it's kind of hard to figure out how to feel right now and what to feel and what's appropriate and what's right. And so, yesterday I shared my heart. It's just kind of like what you're saying, Joel, that it's kind of both and that there's a lot of pain, but there are some things that you can cling to, and we especially cling to. And so I'm kind of in the middle of both of those worlds, and some days I feel like I'm on one side and then the other. But I think it's important to acknowledge that both of those exist, and it's okay to be on either side and just give yourself grace, right? I'm learning that. Like, it's okay to feel how I feel right now and to struggle at times. So we love you guys. Anything else? You guys want to pray for us, say goodbye, whatever? We are going to be back live at 5 on Wednesday. I think David and Daniel are going to do something sometime this week that they are really excited about, which is scary. So make sure to tune in. And then we're back Sunday and all kinds of things throughout the week. I know Kaylee mentioned something about a baking show at 7:30 one night. So we got a lot going on. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Bye, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Come set my heart